Good morning, bonjour, buonasera. Welcome to Life Lessons Straight Up with a Twist. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited and grateful that you are here with me today. As a reminder, this podcast is unedited because life is unedited. So if I fumble over my words, good. It reminds you I'm human, just like you. So as always, we'll get started with a question, and whatever activity you engage in for self-reflection and introspection, please feel free to do. So whether that's writing in a journal, recording yourself saying the questions, and then recording your responses out loud, do whatever works best for you. So today's first question is, am I building a low effort or high effort habit? Am I building a low effort or high effort habit? So this question actually came to me, and it's come to me in a few different times, but particularly last week. There's a lot of different resources about building habits and maintaining habits. And sometimes I get a little, I kind of cringe a little bit because people will say, or I've noticed that some of these people will say, well, like brushing your teeth or, taking a shower. And what the challenge is with these is those are low effort habits. And when I'm saying low effort, I'm saying low perceived effort, right? High perceived effort. But this is really important to think about, because if you think about a habit, especially a habit that you're trying to maintain, if it's something that you perceive as low effort, meaning you can do it naturally, it flows through you, there's not a lot of things you have to move. The earth doesn't have to shift a certain way for you to complete that particular task. That's a low effort habit. And the reason I wanted to really bring this to light, one, because I notice it's not talked about a lot, and y'all know I like to talk about stuff that's not talked about, but also because if you determine that you are really struggling to incorporate a habit or to maintain a particular habit, it's probably because it's a high effort habit. And so what happens is, if you have this idea that this is supposed to be easy, I should be, see that should will let you know you're in trouble already. But if you feel that way, where I should be able to incorporate this, I should be able to drink 2 extra glasses of water a day, I should be able to go to bed by 10 p.m., I should be able to stop scrolling on social media, etc., etc. But if these are high effort habits, that's a whole different ballgame. So the second question to ask yourself, once you've determined if it's a low effort or a high effort habit, the second question is, what is the internal and external environment that I need to create to build or maintain this habit? So I'll give you an example of a high effort habit. And again, this is perceived. So I'll actually give you both examples. I have like a list of people, not a list, but basically maybe 4 or 5 people a week that I want to call. I want to Zoom calls. Sometimes I'll do walking calls because I like to incorporate movement. But I have that list of people. And what I'll do is I'll put reminders in my phone to call those people at certain times, right? So every week there are people in my life, those important people that I need them to know that I'm there for them and I support them and I'm here for them. I show them. And the way that I do that is, just like I said, I set those reminders. So as soon as a reminder goes off, I call them, and we maintain that relationship that way. And one of my friends mentioned that to her, that is a high effort habit. But in my mind, it's very, very simple to put reminders in my phone and, to one, think of the 4 people or 5 people that I want to call for that week, and then to put the reminders in my phone and then call them. So that's an example of what I'm saying. So really make sure you look at the high effort for your perception, a high effort versus a low effort habit. That's first. So now let's go back to that second question when we're talking about what is the internal and external environment I need to create to build and maintain this habit. So when you're looking at something like a high effort habit, let's go to working out. For me, this is probably always where I'm going to go. I'm not a natural athlete, right? I don't really, I'm laughing because I can imagine my brother right now. We were just talking about this. He is someone who has always worked out, right? Like he's always been in sports. So if you're a natural athlete, meaning it's just a part of who you are, usually working out is going to be a little bit more of a low effort task for you, right? Because it's just something that you naturally would do. I, however, do not like to challenge my body with movement. I don't like to lift weights. I really don't. And so for me, lifting weights, the way that I work out now, cross training. So I'm lifting weights and I do HIIT, so timed interval training. That is a high effort, a very high effort. So the internal environment that I have to set up is really, really big. I really surround myself on podcasts, on blogs. I listen to self-development fitness professionals. So one of the people that I listen to almost every day is Hannah Eden. And that's actually who I work out with as well. I think of her as my trainer. But I really listen to motivational speeches and things that put my mind into you're doing this, right? So that's the internal environment. The internal environment is me bringing forth that fitness mindset of I want to do this. I choose to do this. Let's go. So that's the internal environment. The external environment, and this is obviously some things that you would look at as well. The external environment are, what are the distractions or the obstacles that I'm going to have to overcome externally? So outside of myself. So for me, one of the things that I noticed was I work out first thing in the morning, and you already know from the podcast, me and getting out of bed is just a whole thing. So what was one thing that would help me work out, like just one obstacle I could overcome? So I actually read an article about going to sleep in my workout clothes. There's really no reason why I need to set my workout clothes out the night before. I work out first thing in the morning and I don't go anywhere. I work out in my room. All my weights are in my room. I work out with videos. So that was one obstacle. That was one piece of the external environment that I was able to incorporate. So that excuse is gone, right? So things like that, really explore, really take time to explore these questions and give yourself some grace. Really give yourself some grace. I have failed just as much, or probably failed more with maintaining habits just as much as I've been successful at them. And I think what happens is especially if you're listening to this podcast, you are someone who is trying to better yourself because you want to make a positive impact in your life and in the lives of others, right? So give yourself a little grace. You're going to fall. Guess what? You're going to get back up. That's just part of it. So those are the questions I had on my heart. Really challenge you to explore these and let me know how it's going. And just like always, please rate, review, share this podcast if it was helpful to you. And until next time, take care.